Alright, it is Saturday the 16th. I have left the dock in Tarpon Springs because I didn't want to pay an extra $70 for another day. I've come down to a spot where Chet showed me and dropped my anchor. And he's going to come and help me get out the damn channel because I only have the one motor. Why am I having motor issues? Well, the one motor is doing really good now that I replaced the fuel line. When I bought the boat, the owner was going to come and have the motors checked out, and then my, at the time, friends said, "Oh no, we'll get it running for you." And they failed miserably, and I've been paying the price ever since. I have limited maneuverability because I only have one motor on a catamaran, and it's on my port side that's working. Initially, it was on my starboard side that was working, and then that one seized up. The problem with the one on the port side seems to have been a bad fuel line, which I have rebuilt and replaced. So that's a plus. But the one on the other side still isn't working. I bought that 35 Force, which is less than ideal. $650 for, yeah. So, how did I get here? Well, I decided that I was going to get a sailboat, and I was looking for inexpensive ones to rebuild. I had everything I needed to rebuild from the ground up, basically. And then my buddy from college decided he wanted to do this sail around the world as well. He had more money. I said, yeah, let's join forces. I let go of 80% of my stuff to do the trip with him as college buddies, going around the world, having fun, meeting women and meeting new people, seeing new cultures, and, you know, being a team. Well, once we bought the boat, or once he bought his boat, it became very clear that all he wanted was someone to take care of him, and he'd just sit on his ass. So when we sailed his around from Fort Lauderdale to the Glades, I was the one doing the sailing. But he wouldn't listen to the advice from the experienced sailor, and that put us in a couple of situations. Once we got to the haul out and started doing work, I was the one working, and he was the one sitting in the air conditioning. I don't know what he was doing. But after a month and a half of that, I mentioned something, and he exploded on me about how I was just using him for money, because I had spent all my money, and so he was buying the food, he was, you know, taking care of everything else, because I let go of all of my stuff to jump in with him, and then I spent all my money at the beginning, and since he had significantly more money, yeah. So, regardless, after that conversation, I went to the boatyard office and found this boat, and then miraculously, seemingly, got an inheritance from my grandmother passing, and that afforded me to buy this boat with a couple of grand extra. Well, the help that I received from him and another guy at the boatyard was less than helpful in the long run, it seems. So here I am, still struggling with motors and motor issues, and just not having a good time of it at all. Still adventurous, still fun. Pulled out of the dock this morning, and because I only have one motor on one side, I took a good 20 minutes to get my boat pointed the right direction, pissing off other people that were trying to get out as I'm moving forward and back in an arc, trying to change that arc around, which I finally did to get over here. But there's enough, there is enough twistiness and curves. There we go, now you can see me. twistiness and curves in this little river from where I am. By the way, this is a beautiful manatee spot, apparently. Manatees are all over, and dolphins. But regardless, I'm here, and Chet from Tampa, what is it, hoverboards? No. Yeah. Chet's gonna come with his jet ski and help guide me out and get me around the corners so I can get out into the open and continue on my way. So I'm just gonna take the next hour or so, finish putting everything away, because I had to be off the dock by 8, which I was, about 7:30. It's now 8:30, and cleaning up to move forward. I might stay an extra day to, well, getting a motor right now, an outboard motor in this area, is damn near impossible. It has been a constant search, and the price for the new ones keeps going up. So I don't know what I'm going to do with all that. I started looking at boats 5 years ago, feeling like the window of opportunity was closing for the ability to get one set up and ready for what I want to do. And sadly, it seems I was correct. Supply chains breaking down worldwide, shortages of materials and supplies and transport and everything else has just been making everything more difficult. Yeah. So the adventure continues, and I'm continuing to make new friends and meet new people and generally have a good time throughout it all. But there are moments like right now where I look around and I question my own sanity, as I'm sure some of you have questioned my sanity. I know lots of my friends have questioned my sanity throughout my life. I have gotten myself pretty much set. This motor is working much better, although it still's not tuned properly, because again, I'm not a mechanic. I can take it apart, put it back together, not a mechanic. So here I sit. I'm going to take care of putting my stuff away and do a few more things in my hurry to get stuff done. I have sliced myself open in a couple of spots. I think it was pull starting the motor. Well, several boats were waiting for me. But moving forward, because what else do you do? Sit around and wait to die? No. And as I told my biological father when he asked if I'd had enough adventure yet, I was like, well, I could very easily have stuck with a job that I didn't particularly enjoy and played video games in my spare time and had my adventure through video games. Much safer, much easier, but for me, not the right choice. I was fat and getting lazier and fatter, and that's my own opinion of myself, regardless of the reality of the situation. And this is at least keeping me in shape, giving me plenty to do, and I get to go through and customize my life and my home, because I own my home, which is huge. I don't know of any home that I could buy for less than $20,000, which is what I paid for this boat, less than $20,000. So far, all in, right around $20,000. the reality is I need to put another 10 into it ish. Of course, if I buy a new motor, that's 5 right there, which is mind-boggling. And in my opinion, before I buy a new outboard, I'll spend that $5,000 on doing the modifications that I want for the long term, which is a couple of electric water-cooled motors tied to jet drives built into the transoms. So that's what I'm thinking, and that's why I got to have those bromine batteries, which I've figured out the containers, and I've figured out what I want to do. Well, I figured out what I want to do for the containers. I haven't sourced all the materials for it yet, but from what I can tell, it'll be close to $500 per battery, and each battery should be around a kilowatt of usable energy. So, and that's in a 5-gallon bucket size thing. So when that time comes, I will definitely be filming that and covering it. Right now, here I am. There's my motor. You got to take the lid off and play with the choke to get it started every damn time. As it warms up, as it cools off, have to play with it and fiddle with it. Just needs to be tuned by someone who knows what they're doing, and apparently that's not me. And that's alright, but my hand is starting to hurt, and I've got a bunch of stuff left to do to get ready, so I'm gonna do that. Cheers.